Good morning, Loganites. It is March 21st, 2023, Tuesday at 1:50 in the afternoon. That's when we're recording this. So I'm fresh off the boat from spring break. I had to work yesterday, but that's okay. Doesn't matter. We'll talk about that later. Fresh off the boat of spring break. It was awesome. I'm rested. I'm relaxed. We had planned to stay in Cherokee, North Carolina, right on the river at a KOA, and a KOA holiday, which is important because a KOA holiday is the premier KOA. And we'd like to go. We rent a cabin. We hang out. There's usually stuff for Levi to do, stuff for us to do, so that we're not like dependent on each other 24/7 for entertainment. However, the reason why we went to this KOA holiday in Cherokee, North Carolina is because it was directly on the river, a great trout river. The river was closed. It was completely closed for 3 weeks, starting 2 days before we got there for a fishing tournament at the end of the month. We didn't know this when we booked it. It was unbeknownst to us that they had planned all of this. Wasn't any warnings, wasn't anything. They did, however, let us know like a few days before we were supposed to leave on our trip. But here's the issue with that. You knew it was going to be closed. You knew this because it happens every year, apparently. When you tell someone a week before or a few days before the trip that your reason for being there is going to be closed, there's nowhere else for us to book. The KOA in Gatlinburg was completely booked up. So that doesn't leave us anywhere else to go. So we went to the North Carolina place. And I'm going to be honest, it was very cool because it was in true Cherokee Nation, like, reservation. Even all the signs were in Indian language, like all the weird symbols and everything. It was a whole different language. It was a whole different feeling. It also coincided with daylight savings time. So we lost an hour going there. We lost an hour on daylight savings time. So we were really discombobulated. It was cold in the mountains. It was a different environment. It was such a removal from our normal everyday life. It was just mind blowing. We didn't have any cell phone service. It was great because we got to spend all that time together. Now, the KOA was very good, but they were in construction. And the river was down. The whole reason for going there. There was one spot we could go trout fishing, and it was the trophy waters. I'm going to tell y'all something right now. I did not catch a single fish, didn't even get a bite. Levi did not catch a single fish, didn't even get a bite. People paid a tour guide and were in the water in waders, didn't get a single bite. So, I don't know what's going on. So, I don't know. I've heard that the tournament at the end of the month is very cool because you can win money and you can take 10 trout home each for a person that does it. But I wasn't impressed. I'm going to be real. So, that happened. That was our experience in Cherokee, North Carolina. We got to stop in some cool shops. We drove into Gatlinburg. We did the Tail of the Dragon going over there. Man, if you enjoy driving or into cars whatsoever, the Tail of the Dragon is awesome. It's like 313 turns in 11 miles. It took us, now I will say, it was wet and it was rainy when we did it, so it took us like 20 minutes to do it. But I mean, I've never been in a car that changed its motion as much as we did on that Dragon. It was like you're in this vehicle and you're just constantly, just like through a 3D space, just constantly moving up, down, side to side. There was so much different change in motion. It really was really cool. I will say at the end of it though, I was like dizzy. You can definitely feel your equilibrium off because of how much and how different you moved through that entire experience. I would like to do it again though in a very fast car and on dry roads. We did that. Oh my gosh, I got to take Jennifer and Levi to the Fontana Dam. If you don't know this about me, I don't know how you don't know this about me, I hiked a large portion of the Appalachian Trail. 1/4 of the Appalachian Trail. Everywhere from Georgia to Virginia. So the southernmost spot up into Virginia. It was awesome. One of the spots that I hiked was through Fontana Dam. It's the largest dam outside of the Hoover Dam. It's an awesome spot. When we got there, there's a shelter right there off of the trail, off of the road. And the trail goes along the pathway that goes across Fontana Dam. So as soon as we pulled up, I was like, guys, look at that white blaze. That right there means that we are on the Appalachian Trail. Now, I was here. I've hiked this spot. I was like, let me go. I showed them the shelter that was down there. We hiked it all up and down the trail right there. It was just such a cool experience for me to be able to share that with them, almost in like preparation for a few more years to where like, hey, we can kind of maybe do it. Maybe me actually finish the whole thing. That'll be later. So the getting over there was super cool. Oh, this is why this is important. This is why it's important for me to talk about this. We stopped on the way over there in Cookeville and got to see her cousins. And her cousin is so cool. Okay? Jesse, Abby, little baby. I don't want to name you in case they don't want your name out there. It's a cool name, though. It was awesome. It was awesome because it's the first time I got to see the baby. I'm not going to say the name. The baby. And it was just cool to hang out and see him, man. Like, we don't get to do that enough. We don't get to see our family enough, spend time with them, and get to hang out. So that was the way we started, by seeing her cousins and going to the waterfalls over there. And then we got to go to Cherokee, and there were some really cool hikes and waterfalls in Cherokee. The end of the trip, some friend of ours were also on spring break, also on vacation in Gatlinburg, though. And they said, hey, we've got these like yearly passes or something like that to Dollywood. And with these yearly passes, we get an extra pass to be able to go take other people to the park. Would you like to come with us? And we were like, I don't know, we've done Dollywood once before. We did it 2 years ago, and I'm gonna be honest, it was a little intense. Like, Dollywood compared to Disneyland is like way more intense. It's a lot rougher, it's a lot faster, it's a lot crazier. So we were kind of skittish. We were like, I don't know. And I was like, guys, look, we've been invited to something cool. I think we should take them up on the offer. And then Levi was like, yeah, let's go do it. Let's go do it. So that's what we did. The day that they invited us, we got up early. We drove over there. We hopped in the car with them. We went to Dollywood. And let me tell you what. It was awesome. It was awesome for multiple reasons. One, because, I'm going to be honest, these are some good Christian people. I have just recently become, I don't want to say recently become a Christian, but reaffirm myself as a Christian, got into the Bible, got into the Word like I'm supposed to be, actually reading it and learning. I feel like this is the first time I've ever read the Bible, even though I grew up in the church. So it's really cool because I like them like that. I've worked with Jody, the guy, forever, okay, since I was at Le Bonheur. So that was super cool to be able to like hang out with him. And then he's got 3 little girls. The middle one is the same age as Levi. So like 1 to 1, they're in the same age. They've been in the same class before. Then they got 1 older, 1 younger. So like a good spread around Levi's age. Them 3, and then his parents. And then his sister, who also is super cool. Like, super cool lady. So anyways, all of them are going. They invite us. We go. And it was just like this, like, super deep experience of just being around little girls. Okay? Because I grew up with only brothers. I've only had Levi. I've never been around little girls. And I didn't think that. I didn't think that that was my experience until spending a whole day and then other time with these girls. It was like the way they talk to each other is so different than boys. Like, they're so like more loud. They made a song about Chick-fil-A. Like, just like the things that they do and like how like they jump up and down and do stuff and they're on like just keep going all the time. It was so different. It was so crazy. It was such a good experience because I was like, whoa. Like, I don't know. I mean, this is obvious to say, but like little girls are different than little boys. 100%. It's just I've never had that experience. Why would I be around them? I don't know. But it was so cool. It was so awesome. And then, okay, so we get to do the roller coasters. We get to do all the fun stuff. We get to hang out. We get to play. I'm gonna be honest. When we left Dollywood that night, we went back to their cabin because we were gonna go swim. Okay. We got back there and Levi was just dead tired. He was hurting. He wasn't feeling good. His stomach was a little upset. And we're like, okay, we're going to call it. Thank the Lord that we went ahead and left, because we left Gatlinburg. And I don't know where the time went. We left Gatlinburg like, I don't know, 8:10ish, 8:15 maybe. And so the time changes were different too, because I'm like, is it really that late? Maybe we left at 9. I don't remember. I do know, however, by the time we got back to Cherokee, stopped at Arby's and picked up a sandwich each, got back to the cabin, it was already 11:30 at night. And I was like, this is too late to be driving on mountain roads. Too late. So thank you, Levi, for having an upset stomach. So we didn't say that night, but they did say, hey, we've got this extra room here in their cabin. Now, I hope you're listening to this, Jody, Jennifer, all of you out there. You've always said you've got a cabin in Gatlinburg. which you don't have a cabin. You have a cool resort that you're a part of. So it's not a cabin. It's a legit resort. It's a very, very nice, cool, legit resort with a, mind you, a view that was better than any view I had when I hiked the entire 80 miles or 60 miles, whatever it is, of Appalachian Trail through the Smokies. The view was impeccable, pristine, amazing, and you didn't have to hike to get it. So they said at this cabin, we got an extra room if y'all want to stay here. If y'all want to come hang out, you can play in the indoor water park. They have an indoor water park. And hang out with us, that'd be cool. And I was like, oh, we'll talk about it on the way home. Well, we got to Cherokee late that night. We woke up late the next morning. I was like, guys, look, I think we should take advantage of this for multiple reasons. One, it's an hour closer to home, okay? That is a true benefit that you can't get around. Two, you don't get invited to do things like this often. So like when someone invites you into their home or into their family, I feel like if you don't take them up on that opportunity the first time they offer it, the second opportunity is probably not going to come. And I wanted that opportunity. So I was like, look, even if we're tired or you're not really feeling up to it right now, we still need to do it because I like these people. I want to be a part of like what they're doing. Like it's a cool group of people. So I was like, let's do it. And then, by the time we actually packed up and got over there, everyone was feeling way better because we had some food, we had some caffeine, we had some sugar. We were actually like awake now. And we had such a cool time hanging out. It really was special. And it was so cool to be able to share that experience with another family. It really was. So that's what happened. And now let me tell you this. I don't know if you watched my shorts, but you should, because Buc-ee's, the gas station, you've got the Lord's Chicken. Well, you also now have the Lord's gas station. So we enjoyed stopping at Buc-ee's. I guess what I'm trying to say is the experience of the spring break took us out of our normal routine enough to make us come together a little bit more as a family, I think, and have those memories and make that time. Like we went to a golf course, a little mini golf that was so terrible. We will remember it forever. Not because it was fun, because it was so bad. And that's okay. Sometimes you have those experiences. You can't get around them. You can't make everything perfect or go the right way. It's all about your response to them. That being said, our response was to make fun of it and have a good time. And I think we did a good job with that. Now, I do have some exciting news, some actual exciting news spring break was very exciting for me, but it's already happened. So, exciting news is going to be coming in the future. I have been awarded or granted or accepted into a spot for a federal grant with the nursing college to be a practitioner out there in the Lake County and Lauderdale County. So that what that means is I will be doing my clinicals, at least 41% of them out there, and I'll be getting money back for those clinical hours. So if the next fall semester requires 240 hours, I got to do at least like 130 out there, and I'm going to get 50% of my money back on that semester because it's a federal grant to get practitioners into the rural counties. The reason why they picked these two counties is because these two counties have the worst healthcare outcomes in the state. They're one of the two worst. So they've granted this federal money to say, hey, they need more outreach, they need more support. This is the areas that the money can be spent the best. And that's what we're going to be doing. And I'm excited because it's going to be the first semester that it's going to be a program. We'll have a mobile healthcare unit to go out there into the community. And what I've understood is what we're going to be, basically, our biggest goals are going to be is the federal regulations that they have to hit. So like the federal minimums as far as like hypertension management, diabetes management, the stuff that's your primary care physician stuff that's going to make the biggest long-lasting effect. Because it's the simple stuff that saves lives, right? It's the simple stuff those simple management that saves the healthcare dollars so you don't end up with needing a CABG and you don't need those big surgeries and you don't have a heart attack and you don't have a stroke. It's the simple management. It's a simple management that makes those things possible. So I got to hop back into the final. I got 5 weeks left of the semester. After that, I'm out for the summer. I have a summer off, and I am going to take advantage of that. I'm going to be out in the sun. I'm going to be shirtless. I'm going to be soaking up all the rays, spending time with family, doing everything I can with Levi, reading books that aren't textbooks. I read a book that wasn't a textbook this last week. It was awesome. It was about vampires. Hey, do me a favor. Share this, like this, send it to a friend. I want you to send it to one friend. Just send it to one person. If you actually watch us to this point, send it to one friend. And Steven, if you're watching, you can send it to me. I'm your friend. That's okay. But also send it to someone else because I want this to get out there. Loganites, remember, always keep your corn on the cob.